Hey, Covenant family, thanks so much for clicking and just taking just a couple of minutes to listen in. I wanted to let you know that starting on Monday, July 1st, I am calling our entire church family to a 2-week period of prayer and fasting. I'm going to ask you to do two things every day for the next 14 days. The first is I want to ask you to dedicate a significant period of time to prayer, just being on your knees, not only for yourself and for your family, but for your church family. And second, I want to ask you to participate with us in fasting along with your church family. Now, that may look different for some of you than from others. Some of you may want to go completely without food for 14 days straight. Others of you may have medical limitations that don't allow you to do that. For me, personally, I do need some energy because I've got a lot to do the next 2 weeks. But I'll usually skip one meal a day and dedicate that time instead of eating to just sort of embodying the truth that man does not live by bread alone and seeking the Lord and His will during that time. Now, why am I doing this and why so sudden? That usually it comes up in a lot of people's minds. What's going on here? Is something about to happen? Is something about to be revealed? It's unfortunate, but it's true that sometimes too often when a guy in my line of work calls for a sudden time of prayer or starts talking about spiritual warfare, that it's because something unsavory and sinful is about to be revealed. So let me just set your minds at ease. Nothing is about to be revealed. There's no scandal about to break at Covenant. We do not use the serious subjects of prayer and spiritual warfare as covers to avoid accountability. That's not how we roll here. So I hope that helps you rest at ease a bit more. But there's several reasons I feel compelled to call us to this moment for the next 14 days. The first is just simply we haven't had a congregation-wide focused time of prayer and fasting in over a year. So I think we're overdue. But second is we're in the middle of a very active summer right now. There are teams being deployed from Baltimore to Ocean City to the mountains of Vietnam to Hanoi to even local communities like Fox Glen and Apple Tree that we're at work in all the time. And I think sometimes we can forget that ultimately this is the Lord's work and not ours. And prayer and fasting will help us put all of that back into His hands where it belongs, even as we're doing it together during this busy summer season. Third, our staff, our finance team, our elders have begun laboring over these summer months, among other things, getting ready for our next fiscal year together, which begins on October 1st. And we all believe God is calling us to the next level, and we need wisdom as we prepare to put that entire plan in place and reveal it to all of you for your consideration on Sunday, August 19th. But there's a final reason I want to call us to this task at this moment, and that's for this reason. It is natural to go to God when things are hard, when I'm sick, when I have money worries, when there are things that I don't know how to work them out. But right now is not a hard time at Covenant. We are experiencing, at least in my experience, one of the sweetest seasons our church has experienced since I came here to be your lead pastor almost 9 years ago. New people are joining us weekly. Folks are being baptized after declaring their faith in Jesus. We're witnessing the radical generosity of God's people, both here locally and around the world. There is a lot to celebrate, and there's much for which we should thank God. But sometimes in those good moments, we can get a little full of ourselves. We can forget when we don't spend as much time on our knees that we need the Lord every bit as much when things are good as we do when they're bad. So this 14-day period of prayer and fasting will just remind us of our desperate need for Jesus, even when it feels like we've got this on our own. And so for all these reasons, I hope you'll join me starting Monday, July 1st for the next 14 days. We're going to have a guide available this Sunday at our Unity service. One service, under everybody, whole family under one roof, 9:30. Don't miss this one. It's going to be a lot of exciting things we're going to celebrate together, but you'll get that prayer and fasting guide. It'll be available to you that Sunday. And I just want to thank you in advance for joining us in anticipating what God has in store for us. Thank you for your trust in me and my leadership. Thank you for your trust in our other leaders, the honor that you give in allowing us to minister to you. I am anxious, but I'm also excited to see Jesus work in the lives of the people in our church family. May He bless you and keep you.